My name's Joey. I'm the owner of Righteous Response. We manufacture belts, holsters, and other gear you need for everyday carry. Today's video is about the Ruger RXM, and I'll be honest, right off the bat, this little guy surprised me. I did not think it was going to shoot so well. It's very similar, obviously, to a Glock 19, but the ergonomics in my hand feel a little bit better. Now, first and foremost, with that being said, I did not pay anything for this. This was in the shop to get a holster made. So we now do RXM holsters in-house, whether you want an inside the pants single clip with the claw like that one, or a deeper belt carry with the soft loops. We got tons of options. So take this little review as you will. Right off the bat, guys, the trigger is, I think it's a little bit better than a Glock 19 trigger. Yes, there's nicer triggers out there, but I mean, for everyday carry, if I'm gonna have this in my waistband, this is a pretty good trigger, at least for me. The sights, I didn't even use the sights because I was using the red dot, but these actually are not bad. It does have a little bit of a tritium dot on the front. I noticed that last night, actually. So it does glow. The Swamp Fox red dot that comes on these, pretty good. No complaints there. Not super fuzzy. I do have an astigmatism, if that's how you pronounce it. So most red dots for me are pretty fuzzy, but this one's not bad. I was running the OEM Glock mag that was in it. I did run a Magpul Glock 19 mag, and they both ran flawlessly. With that being said, I probably put around 150 rounds through it. No hiccups, no problems whatsoever. Another thing I noticed is I didn't get much of a slide bite. I got a little slide bite on my thumb here, but with Glocks, I always get a slide bite. Not a big deal. It's the low bore axis. Helps with recoil, accuracy, all that good stuff. But with the Magpul grip, the RXM here, I didn't get much of a slide bite. A little one, but not like a Glock would, at least with my hands. The fit and finish on this, it looks good. You know, I drew it in and out of my holster quite a bit. There's no holster wear whatsoever. Ruger typically has a decent finish. I'm assuming they're not doing anything different for their RXMs here. Now, the internals are going to be different than a Glock 19. From my understanding, this is all just a grip module, and the firing control group actually comes out, and you can put it in a different grip module, which is super cool. A lot of companies are going to that. I like it. It really promotes aftermarket accessories on a lot of this stuff, so that's a big win for us in the consumer market. I actually don't have a Glock 19 here in the shop at the moment, but I do have a Glock 19 Gen 5 Blue Gun, just as a comparison. Obviously, the trigger guards are much different. I'm assuming Glock has a patent on that shape or something, because no one seems to really replicate that. And the big question I'm gonna get is, hey, will this not fit a Glock 19 holster? I mean, it's a smaller trigger guard, everything else is the same. The answer is yes and no. It will fit a Glock 19 holster, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't fit it very well. So that's why we came up with these dedicated molds here. As you can see, it matches the trigger guard exactly. It's going to retain the RXM a lot better than it would into a Glock 19 holster, so keep that in mind. So here's the holster fitment in a Glock 19 holster manufactured by us. Ruger RXM goes in, doesn't quite retain around the trigger guard very well, and it almost doesn't seem to bottom out, if that makes sense. I really think it's because that trigger guard is just a totally different shape. So ideally, if you're going to be carrying with the RXM, get a dedicated holster for this thing. That way you're carrying safe, and it's true. Now, with that being said, the Ruger RXM does fit the Glock 19 light-bearing holsters. So here we have a HLX, TLR7 HLX, in a Glock 19 HLX holster in our limited print we did for a while. Fits just fine. Same as the Glock 19 does, and that is because the gap between the top of the slide and the bottom of the rail is the same as the Glock 19. If you want to support the channel, the best way to do so is righteousresponse.com. Go on there, buy a holster, buy a belt, buy something. That is the best way to support the YouTube page here so we can continue doing this kind of stuff. With that, guys, have a good day, be safe, and be good.